Hello and hope we're all doing well. Welcome back to more esports news. The talk of the town over the past 24 hours, all about a Kotaku article I will link down below for all of you guys from a very trusted source, a very accredited source, that being inside the gaming scene in terms of leaks and rumors and talks about the gaming scene as well. He's been very accredited in the past with these kind of things actually being true. So I do believe it, guys, that being a brand new Diablo. Most importantly for this channel though, a possible sequel to Overwatch, that being Overwatch 2. Now along him, of course, the writer and his accredited background. With that being said, and also Blizzard responds. Blizzard rarely responds, as many developers rarely do when these kind of things do get leaked or actually come out and published about future titles they have not, of course, talked about themselves yet. Blizzard themselves actually did respond to the article as well, which does kind of even lean more credit to the story. And pretty much TLDR for all of you guys of the Blizzard response so far. They do not respond, typically with this, but wanted to clarify they always are working on multiple projects, but anything can happen throughout the development of those said projects, just like, of course, the StarCraft FPS game they were working on before this article was published. So I actually clarified in the article as well that StarCraft FPS, that first-person shooter for StarCraft, yeah, it's not going to happen. It's now been canceled after 2 years of development, and I believe it's actually been canceled, I believe, in the past a couple times as well. So not a huge surprise there, especially because, let's admit it, guys, the StarCraft market has definitely been, I would say, on the tail end, especially when it comes to the American and the European regions. Either way, though, with that being said, the staff layoffs for that project, for the StarCraft FPS, have now been contributed to other projects, which have now been slightly confirmed as possibly a new Diablo, and more importantly, Overwatch 2. And this is just a crazy discussion. Super curious what you guys think in the comment section down below as we break it down for all of you. We have a very trusted source saying that it's very possible for Overwatch 2 to be in development sometime in the future, to be published as well. And with that being said, Blizzard even responded with that being said, and pretty much I would say their response is them saying, yes, we might be working on this, but anything can happen. It's no guarantee it's going to come out, but we probably are working on an Overwatch 2. And luckily enough as well, we've already talked about this in the past couple of videos, or at least earlier this week. We talked about Blizzard layoffs throughout 2018 as well, throughout 2019 to continue, but none of these people apparently on the StarCraft FPS project were actually laid off. They were just put on other projects, which is likely going to be the Overwatch 2 one included. Just a huge surprise for me. I'm super interested in what you guys think as well, because when it comes to big titles out there, big franchise titles, or just big esports titles, we really regularly see a far majority of the time these developers will stick and they'll maintain one game and update and patch on that same existing game, because once you have a solidified esports audience, or just a fan base or a viewer base or a player base in general, you like to stick it out and then see how long that's actually going to last. Now with Overwatch though, this would easily be one of the younger games out there to now release a sequel, and especially with a very well-established esports scene, it's very shocking to me, because there are several mainstream titles right now that are very well competitive, as well as in the esports market as well, with this very established player bases and a whole realm of possibilities for the future of their games, and they maintain the same title currently. Dota being one, CSGO is ongoing almost 7+ years with their same title being Global Offensive. Along that, of course, League of Legends, and of course Rainbow Six Siege on top of that. We actually had Ubisoft announced a couple of days ago they will not be doing a sequel, or do not have one planned, because they themselves have also now established a pretty consistent esports scene, as well as a very, very viable game for the future, which I did respect them for. So right there is 4 mainstream esports / video game titles who are currently going to stick it out with their main game probably for quite some time, because of the established scene so far. And of all of those games, Overwatch being the 5th is certainly going to be younger than all of those games. I think the closest one being Rainbow Six Siege is 1 year older than Overwatch, and so that's why I'm very surprised Overwatch this early on in their legacy, especially with Overwatch League Season 2 currently, and of course Season 3 expected to come soon following as well, because the viewership numbers are apparently up. On top of that, it's just so surprising to me that you choose now of all times, of course they didn't choose for this to be published, but you choose now of a time, and maybe in 2020, to release a brand new game, which is going to change everything for your competitive scene. And with that being said, everything being said around this as well, there's a few things being expected. Now, probably the game to be published not even at the earliest date being 2020, so it will be still some time off. And with that being said, by the time that comes around, maybe a little over 4 years that Overwatch has been out, that's the question, right? Do you guys think a main esport title or competitive title out there for gaming should release a sequel, even though their first game is doing so well after 4 years? Because when you look at the Dotas, the CSGOs, even by then the Rainbow Six Sieges, the League of Legends, they will be lasting much, much longer than that 4-year period. So is Overwatch trying to, or is Blizzard, I should say, trying to make a brand new precedence for, yeah, we're going to keep on doing our game brand new, and every 4 years or so, you're going to see a brand new meta shift, play styles, brand new characters, brand new maps, which is my main worry about this. I think Overwatch League, on top of all of that, is a huge worry in terms of financial viability, quality. So, of course, by the time 2020 comes around, we could be Overwatch League Season 3, coming on Season 4, even in the future as well. And so if that was to last, if this game is still to be as successful as it is today by then, either way, you're changing up so much for your hundreds of pro players, all of your dozens of established pro teams out there. You are probably adding brand new maps, a brand new playstyle, plus brand new metas as well, brand new characters as well for the game, on top of so much else, pretty much a complete reset in terms of learning curve for all of your pro players in your esports base, which to me is just so dumbfounding. And all this is so hard to talk about because it's based off speculation, right? We have no idea if it actually will come to fruition, but I certainly have my doubts if it does. But with that being said, look at a franchise league like Call of Duty, right? The CWL will also start around 2020. Overwatch League will be around for about 3 years by the time that does come, and Call of Duty has a brand new game every single year, so they've already going to be relying on that model as well. Overwatch, though, is first of the mainstream titles, I would say, right now to be doing this at such an early period of time. But as always, I'm really curious what you guys think about this. Do you think Overwatch can pull it off? Do you think we will see in Overwatch 2 have a little eruption for the esports scene, and it could set a precedence for other mainstream titles to also update their games and release brand new titles on top of that? But as always, I hope you guys all enjoy it. My name is Jake. I'll be back here later today with one last video, guys, that being our podcast. I'll be back here tomorrow as well, breaking down more esports news. Until then, though, if I'm not going to see you guys this weekend, have a great weekend, have a safe weekend, and I'll see you later.